There are almost 100 brawlers in the game. That means there are a lot of brawlers to choose from. Some are pretty good, some are pretty bad, some are broken, and some are garbage. In this video, I'll focus on the brawlers who are broken and garbage, 5 of each to be specific. This is purely focused on how well they do in the meta, so just because an Edgar keeps killing you in solo showdown doesn't mean he'll be on the list, as this list is focusing on pro play and who's good and bad in 3v3 modes. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Everyone's support truly means a lot and will help me grow as well. But with that said, let's get into the ranking. I'll be rotating between worst and best, ending off with the worst brawler and best brawler back to back. Let's get into it. The 5th worst brawler right now is Jackie. Jackie's a bit weird. She was around the B tier before, but then she got a random health nerf for pretty much no reason at all. She wasn't even that broken during that time. After that, she's just been stuck around the bottom, and the meta just has a lot of damage dealers, making her even worse. However, ignoring all of that, Jackie still isn't very good. Her hypercharge is nowhere near as good as the newer ones, probably because they weren't as creative with the concepts and she was one of the first 6 brawlers to get a hypercharge. But it doesn't hurt her placement in the meta. She's almost a walking supercharger right now. She can't get close to the enemy without sneaking up in a bush or using a gadget, and she just doesn't have any range at all either. At least Doug has his healing and Trunk has their super. Jackie's super doesn't let her catch up to the enemy to make sure the enemy doesn't run away from her, so it's not really a way for her to get close to the enemy. She's kind of useless right now and definitely deserves a buff sometime soon. The 5th best brawler right now is Rico. Now this might be a brawler I'm overrating, but whether he's on my team or the enemy team, he always destroys the map. Sure, he's better on certain maps than others, but he'll devour anyone in the match if he's on one of those maps. As they can't really outrange him thanks to his balances, and they can't take his shots either as he does so much damage so much more quickly now. The only way to counter Rico is to break his walls, and for some reason the ratio of wall breakers in the game keeps diminishing. The last wall breaker release was Mo, and even then his wall breaking gadget is never used, so you have to go all the way back to Pearl, which he just released all the way back in 2023. So having the right brawlers to destroy walls is extremely hard to do. Rico's just an extremely oppressive brawler thanks to the new buff he received, and he probably deserves a small compensation nerf to go along with it. The 4th worst brawler right now is Jessie. Jessie has fallen off for really no reason other than everyone else getting better in their own way. Her hypercharge just can't keep up, and her base stats aren't very good either. She does no damage. Good players can make sure her bounce shots don't hit them. She's not even good in Heist anymore, and she's only usable on certain hot zone maps. She's also pretty squishy, and this meta has a lot of damage going around, which makes her even worse. Honestly, there's never a reason to use her over someone like Nita or any other controller. She just doesn't have a real place in the meta, and she's slowly fallen off ever since she got her hypercharge. The issue is, you can't really buff her too much as she counters newer players hard, so we'll probably have to wait until she gets her buffies to see her shift around in the meta. Otherwise, she'll be stuck down here for a little while longer. The 4th best brawler right now is Frank. Frank is a beast of his own, and he was even more menacing before he got nerfed. Frank is a brawler that has the most health in the entire game, and he's one of 6 brawlers who have buffies this update. The fact that he used to be the worst brawlers for years makes this pretty funny actually. But either way, his main attack having an unload timer doesn't really matter when he can pop a hypercharge and do like 10,000 damage in a second. Plus, he can even be sort of good on certain marksman maps because his gadget now has a stupidly long range. This isn't even mentioning the 20% shield Frank can get when using star power. I don't think giving brawlers these massive reworks and buffies at the same time is a very good idea. With the first batch there's already so many broken oppressive brawlers in the meta. Let's hope they can balance these better in the future. The 3rd worst brawler right now is Clancy. I think the developers just straight up don't like Clancy. He's only received 1 skin after his release, and it's been 1.5 years since he did. Plus, the skin isn't even very good, and then his placement in the meta, you don't even bother with buffing. His hypercharge was released mediocre and still is mediocre. I don't think it was ever touched. And although nowadays, going up levels is way easier, he still feels like complete trash while he's at level 1. Like, it's insane how trash he feels. It makes me feel like a bad player sometimes. I think Clancy's shots need a speed buff, similar to what Ruff's got. He brought Ruff's back into the meta, and it would definitely make Clancy not only better, but also a more fun brawler without making him too broken. Clancy feels extremely irrelevant nowadays in pretty much every way. Nobody cares about him, nobody plays him, not even the developers care. He just feels completely forgotten and definitely needs some love from someone. Hopefully he gets something soon. The 3rd best brawler right now is Spike. Once again, Spike's buffies have brought him back up in the meta, and he's even better than Frank sometimes. Well, that's debatable, but it's more so because Spike is a bit more versatile, but both of them are still extremely good brawlers nonetheless. Spike's cactus gadget now allows him to act as a support for some reason. His needle gadget turns him into a Shelly with a super, and the super is basically just a free kill whenever he hits it, as it's extremely hard to escape and Spike's damage can rack up quickly over time. And although I think Spike has the worst buffy in the game with his star power buffy, both his gadget and especially his hypercharge buffy make Spike extremely broken in different ways. One lets Spike either trap the enemy while the other just lets Spike have double shots for no reason. I'm not sure how that's supposed to be balanced in the slightest. Either way, Spike is definitely in the top 10 at minimum right now, and I think he's worthy of being considered the third most broken brawler inside of the game. The second worst brawler right now is Rosa. Rosa is another unfortunate example of power creep. Her, Jessie, and Jackie were all brawlers who had early hypercharge releases. If their hypercharges were released later on, I doubt any of them would be anywhere near this bad. Rosa is a bit weird though, as her hypercharge is good, but she's still bad. I think it might be because she's somehow secretly underrated, which I played a few matches with her and I doubt that. Or she just doesn't do well enough in her current role. I think a recurring problem with low use rate brawlers is their unload attack speed. Brawlers like Eve, Pam, Lola, Pearl, and even Rosa all have a small amount of time before their attack fully finishes, and that might be what makes them unpopular and in some cases bad. Look at Rico's attack speed buff. It did wonders for him. If Rosa got one, I guarantee a lot more people would play her and she'd become a lot better in the game. The second best brawler right now is Ems, and I can assure you this is the last buffy brawler on the list, but seriously, over half the list consisting of buffy brawlers is not a good thing. Ems is the best one out of all of them, however, as I think there just isn't an effective way to counter her. You could say a ranged brawler, but there's almost rarely a scenario where there's a map where the ranged brawler is good anyway, and you obviously can't counter her with tanks or assassins, so Ems can just easily dominate on the map. Her super always giving her a perma shield no matter how long is broken. It obviously needs a rework, and I think it either should just be like a 50% shield or something, or maybe it could work like Draco's last stand gadget, although that'd also still be a bit broken. Either way, Em just does so much damage and gets so much control. She's practically unkillable, and since there isn't an easy way to counter her, she's all the way up in second place. There's still someone higher than her, but first we have to talk about the worst brawler in the game. The worst brawler right now is Bonnie, and this isn't really a surprise. He decided nerfing a brawler who wasn't even that broken by making their super take 2 more shots to charge would be a good idea. Mr. P isn't very good either right now when he got a similar nerf, yet somehow it's not as bad as Bonnie's nerf, as there's really no reason to use her now. Need a marksman? Play someone like Bella or Angelo. Need a tank? Play Buster or Draco. Need assassins? Play Kaze or Cordelius. There's more examples for those classes I didn't list. Bonnie's just terrible at pretty much everything she's supposed to do. Pretty much no time is a good time to use Bonnie. The only thing she's debatably good at is being a tank, but like, she's not even supposed to be a tank, so why use her like one? I don't know what else to say about Bonnie except they need to revert her nerf or at least slightly buff her supercharge rate. I genuinely see no reason to pick Bonnie, and she's easily the worst brawler in the entire game. But who's the best? Let's find out right now. The best brawler right now is Pierce. This isn't much of a shock. Pierce just very easily dominates, and sadly I feel like he doesn't even take too much skill. I wouldn't call myself a pro or anything like that, not even close, yet I can still very easily wipe out the enemies while using him, and I don't feel like I did it very skillfully either. Pierce does so much damage, and the slow his final ammo gives him with his star power is actually a lot bigger than one thinks. He can stack that over and over again and kill the enemy with ease. Then even if the enemy runs away, he can just use his super and get rid of them that way. I think the best way to nerf Pierce is to nerf his damage and the slow from his first star power. Specifically nerf the damage of his final ammo. His first and second ammo are fine enough, nerfing his reload speed can very easily kill Pierce, so I'd rather not mess around with that. But right now, Pierce is definitely the best brawler in the game. Do you agree with my list? And do you think Pierce is actually the worst while Bonnie is the best? Tell me in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.